Hello guys, hope you guys are all doing well. Just doing a thoughts and could say opinions on Extreme Rules 2022. So we'll start off with the first match, which was Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes. I felt this was a very good match, one of the matches of the night. Um, I think the build was really good for this match. Um, they hyped it up on NXT. So they cost them like I think it's a tag title match. So it's been building up since Sheamus versus Gunther, which I think there will be a third one of them two. Um, this was one of the matches of the night. You had the Brawling Brutes who won this match, but honestly, I think it could have gone both ways. I don't think there was a wrong winner. I think they both could have won this one. The only my only concern in this match was they gonna have either Sheamus or Gunther take the pin, and they avoided that. So fucking credit to them, man. They did very well with that. So there's not too much to say about that match, but would want to hear your thoughts and views on how basically you like that match. Do you think it was booked well? Do actually let me know. Next match was Liv Morgan versus Rousey. Now, as a Liv Morgan fan, I'm annoyed at the outcome of this match. I knew what they was going to do because you have Liv Morgan go over twice on Rousey. You're not going to have Rousey lose to Liv Morgan a third time. It was never going to happen. And if it did happen, it would be someone would screw Rousey. So it wouldn't. Again, if Liv Morgan kept that title, because if someone screwed Rousey, she would not be seen as the legit champion. And I felt that was her whole issue with her reign. She didn't feel legit. That wasn't down to Liv. Liv did everything in her power to feel that way. I felt she did the best she could, but wasn't enough. But in this match, they had Rousey win this. Had them choke out Liv, which I didn't mind. You didn't have to Liv Morgan tap. You didn't make her look weak that they did at SummerSlam. So did I want Rousey to win? No, because I don't think Rousey is on that level. I don't. I think she's a great. The things with Rousey, she's got the star power. She always will. She's one of the big names. She's as big as Charlotte Flair. But in terms of what the brand needs, I don't think Rousey's what they need. Like in times like this, you can see they're missing someone like a Sasha Banks or something because women like that took the roster by its horns in basically manner of words. And I think Liv Morgan can do that if they allow Liv Morgan just wrestle freely. And I found it quite interesting what they did in this match because they allowed Liv Morgan took a lot of bumps. She carried this match. I that is all I'm saying about that. This match showed exactly what Liv Morgan brings. And to anyone that doubts her as a wrestler, anyone who doubts her skills, her talents, no. She showed exactly what she offers and why she was handpicked in that sense to carry that title for that time. Um, it looks like they're gonna put her heel because when she got choked out, she was laughing that she lost her title, and then there was a backstage segment which had Liv Morgan looked. She just looked lost, like not lost, like she was upset, lost like some darkness has took over her, and that is where it does get me thinking. Does she go into a certain faction that I will talk about at the end of this video? It's her and one other person could go into that faction. Then the third match on the card was Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. This match I enjoyed so much. As a Drew McIntyre fan, it was hard to pick a side because I love Drew McIntyre and I love Karrion Kross, but you couldn't have Karrion Kross lose his first match here. So in that sense, I felt it was quite predictable with how they was going to be doing this. So yeah, I think they protected Drew because he didn't lose clean. Um, I've heard some rumors saying Drew's going to go heel. I don't know. I'm not sure how I would feel about that. Um, it depends what they're doing. Because if you got him going heel, you got Cross who's already a heel. Reigns is already a heel. You're stacked with heels. Like who's the faces? So I don't think he should go heel. Until they can bring in some bigger names that are faces, and you can allow guys like Drew to go heel, I don't want to see it. But I felt the right person won here. It was a solid match. I liked the variety of the matches that we got. And the strap match, yeah, I thought they did just brilliant. They did exactly what I wanted them to do, in a sense of just go and kill each other. It's like no one wanted to see throughout this card. Watch it just a Cross and Drew match. No one wanted to see a wrestling match. You wanted to get extreme. They got extreme, and that's why it was another one of those matches I really did enjoy. Do I think it was one of the matches of the night? I'm not sure. Cause I don't think they was trying to get match of the night. I felt they were just going for chaos. And it did exactly that. But do I think the match does it in so many senses? What's the words I'm trying to say here? Does it make Drew look bad? I don't think it does, but I could see why other people would think it does. Because he lost to Roman and he's lost to Karrion Kross. Is that the start of the decline of Drew? Or was he protected both times? Because both losses, he got costed both times. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that, guys. Do you think Drew is starting to go down a bit? Or do you think he's being protected by these losses just to push other talent? That's how I feel about it. I think, yeah, I would love Drew to be in that light. But at the end of the day, you're going to have so many top names and top faces, like guys like Cross. You might even get Rhodes over that at some stage when he's back. So it's like, not saying Drew's not as good as them. I just think Drew's been in that light for so long, there's other people that need it. And you might even get Styles back on SmackDown at some stage. So you've got so many main event people that could be coming over to SmackDown. But that's my thoughts on that match. So do it, drop in the comments what you guys thought of that match. And also what was your match of the night? It'd be really good to hear. Then next, I think, was it Finn Balor? I'm gonna just say Finn Balor and Edge. Felt they did very well. Great match. Two veterans, two of the best at what they do. This match pushed over the Judgment Day. Edge has pushed the Judgment Day to its best. He's made this, like, you can tell he's put in storylines, and he's the driving force of the Judgment Day, and he's willing to take those losses and for the storyline to progress. Like, this is why Edge is one of my favourites. But honestly, it was brilliant. Felt they did really well. I think it did drag on a bit too long though. I do think they did drag the match a bit too long. It could have been cut a lot shorter, and you could have had more time in some other matches. I don't think this match had to go as long as it did. But saying that, it wasn't so bad. Um, I felt it was one of the best matches of the night. Um, Edge. See, I never felt Edge was going to win this match. The reason being was exactly what happened, what they did to Beth. I knew in some sense it was either they was going to take out Beth and they was going to force the words, because Edge wasn't just going to say it. He was never going to say the words "I quit." He was never going to say it. He was going to be manipulated to saying it. He was going to be forced. So they would inflict pain on someone else, because they literally punished Edge, like the entire group had him handcuffed to the rope, and he was getting beat the crap out of, and the guy still wouldn't quit. So then they did plan B. I thought they was going to take out Ray, to be honest, to do it, but they went one step ahead. They went deeper, and they did a Cherito to Beth Phoenix. And now what that does, that down the line you will have Beth will get involved. So I think you'll have Edge, you'll have Beth, and perhaps a Styles. Whoever's that third person, I don't think it'd be Ray, because Dom is got Ray's number. I think Ray's going to distance himself from it at some point, and that's when you're going to get someone like a Styles. I've heard lots of people saying Styles might go heel. He might, and I think that's where Styles is best. But we'll see how the storyline goes. But in terms of the match was really good. I felt the I quit part of it was really good. It was just nice to see them bring back a classic of a match, because you ain't seen that in a while. Don't think you've seen it in a long time, have you? So that was really good to see. But yeah, I felt it was really good. Just dragged on a bit. Then one of, if not my match of the night, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. This match was incredible. One of the women's matches of the year, of the decade. This match showed women can do those type of matches just as good, if not better, than the men. But it's certain women that can do it. I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying you'll get that kind of match from all of the people on the roster. But you know what you're getting from Bayley, and you know what you're getting from Belair. They are two of the very best right now. They're at the top of Raw's ladder, pouring Becky, because Becky is out of action, so I do not class her as that bracket. But when Becky's back, Becky's in that bracket. But this match did exactly what I wanted. It showed how good Belair is, and I see lots of people say, well, not lots. I see some people say online, that this damage control. It's buried damage control. That is a load of rubbish. If you've seen that online, mute them or just ignore it, because it's a load of rubbish. They are not buried. If anything, she's pushed them over. Belair has, because it took all of them. It literally took all of them, and she had to take out every single one of them, and it showed how good she is. So now that group has now pushed her onto another level, and she looked legit. Like, she looked like the proper real deal of she is the woman to beat. I do think she's gonna lose to Bayley at some point, and this is what Bayley's gonna do. This is a teaching lesson for Bayley, that you can't just get one over on Belair. You've got to have a proper good plan. And this is what she's going to come up with. I think she's gonna dig deep. I'm not sure what they're gonna do next. We'll have to find out on Raw. But some of the spots in this match were incredible. My favourite was definitely the KOD onto the ladder. On Bailey. That was incredible. One of the best spots you will see all night. It was incredible. Um, and then there was a spot they was trying to do with Bianca, Io, and Dakota. They did botch it, but they did very well with it. It was a really tough spot to do. At times you hit it or you miss. Like that happens. Like there's nothing to moan about. Like they tried it. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like they got the talent to pull spots off like that. Like they're some of the best talents in the world, and it's just great that you get to see it on a week to week basis. And then but yeah, like how I felt about that match, I felt that was on level with the opening match for match of the night. I felt I think I'll give it to the. It's tough. It depends what kind of match you like more. See, I found the women's the match of the night just because I was expecting that opening match to be as good as it was. Because you knew it was going to be chaos. But with Belair and Bailey, yes, they're top talent, but um, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the first time ever women have had a one-on-one ladder match. They've had triple threats, but I don't remember a one-on-one. I do not remember. Um, so do correct me if I'm wrong on that. But then, yeah, then we. I was gonna say let's move on to the main event, but I wanted to talk about something else first. There's a backstage segment with Miz, and lots of people are seeing this as like it was like a little goof. It was like a little mess around. I think it was more than that. Um, I honestly believe that you knew that Dexter was gonna show up at some stage. He was gonna take out Miz, and it's been happening for a while. I do want to know where they're taking his storyline though, because Miz does keep taking the L's. Um, so I want to see where they're taking this. I know Miz celebration is on Raw. Where you got his wife is going to present it, so that's going to get a lot of viewership. But yeah, I want to see what they're going to do because the person in that costume, I think that was Dexter Loomis' missus, Indy Hartwell. I think it was her. I know her costume was like it was all fat. The person in that costume was not fat. Let me just say that. I think it was her. I'll be very surprised if it's not because she's been rumoured to be on the main roster very soon. And I think if they didn't tease it there, they're going to tease it soon. So expect to see her very soon. Um, so that'll be very interesting. Now, on to the main event. The main event, as a Seth Rollins fan, I was annoyed a bit, but not as much as because I predicted this. I said Matt Riddle had to win this match. The match, brilliant, as I expected, because the fight pit. If you've watched NXT, you know how good that match is. My favourite fight pit was Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa. That's my favourite fight pit match. But this one was also really good. Showed what Matt Riddle can do. Showed what Seth can do in all sorts of matches. You can't get a bad match out of Seth. He is the Shawn Michaels of this era of wrestling. Like I'm not saying he's Shawn Michaels. I'm saying he's the version of Shawn Michaels in this era of wrestling. The guy can't have a bad match. You put him in all sorts of different matches. The guy delivers every time. Like he does it every time. It's just brilliant to see. I get amazed by every time he's out there. Um, But Matt Riddle, I think, gets a lot of I don't think Matt Riddle gets enough credit with all the stuff he does. Because lots of people call Rousey the person that was able to convert from martial arts to wrestling, but then they skip over someone like Matt Riddle who did it before Rousey. Um, my issue with Matt Riddle is his mouth gets him to a lot of trouble, and that's what's held him back from getting a push. He's got to learn to really bite his tongue and just move, like just move forward. It's the guy has so much talent, he's got so much to give. Like just don't mess it up. Like it's that simple for me. Like it's very frustrating. As someone who likes Matt Riddle, he's got to really learn when not to say stuff, because keeps it keeps happening when he's so close that big push, and then he does something. I think it was last year. He did it with no, it was a year before that. Brock, he said something to Brock, and at that time, Matt Riddle was getting pushed. They stopped his push because it's Brock. Then the year after, I think it was Goldberg. And I don't think he's the biggest superstar, but he's one of their main names. Like he's one of their, I'll say there's one of their chosen ones. I would say. Um, so Matt Riddle has to really learn to just stop talking and just fight. And this match showed exactly what Matt Riddle can do, what he offers. Because if Seth wins here, the feud's done. Um, and me, like my own opinion, I don't want this feud to be done. I think they still can get a lot more deeper, a lot more personal. I think they can do so much more because the stuff they were saying, it's going deep. I think they can do a lot more. Um, like if you heard the promo before this match, it was a great promo. Um, I think Seth does carry a lot of it. Because when you think about it, Matt Riddle's main digs are about his wife, about Becky. But when Seth takes digs at Matt Riddle, he goes deep. He goes for his ex-wife. He goes for his kids. He goes all guns and blazing. Like that's just who Seth is. He's fucking brilliant. And I think Matt Riddle can go a lot more deeper. I think you could get a lot more from Matt Riddle. Um, then I thought this was gonna be a massive letdown. I thought they was gonna end the show with Matt Riddle just winning, and then because they put back the little thing in the corner, it was like when the show ends. I forgot what it's called now, a watermark or something like that. Um, like what they do. That's another thing. They don't very sly, very sneaky. If you guys watch NXT takeovers, you know they added those watermarks in the bottom left corner. They've been doing that on the main roster, so you can see Triple H's changes. He's not copying NXT, but he's bringing things from NXT. He's bringing back some of the old talent he loved, and he's bringing back a lot of the talent that should never have been let go. And speaking of talent that should never have been let go, we'll talk about what happened next, because the lights went out and the legend has returned. The guy who should never have been let go. This is on par with Karrion Kross. When Karrion Kross returned, it was all frustration, I think, on the fans' part, on his part. It was just frustrating because he's one of the guys that shouldn't have been let go. But this one I felt was bigger than Karrion Kross, because Bray Wyatt, this man is so creative. When I look at this guy, I think of him as the next Taker. Like I do. The guy can create things that no other talent can do on that roster. Not just on that roster, on any roster. This guy, I don't think he's the best wrestler, but he's not a bad wrestler. He's a solid wrestler, like Roman. But Bray, he comes up with ridiculously brilliant storylines and just he's so creative. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea to let a man like that go. It was bizarre, and my concern was they was going to bring back Bray Wyatt and bring back the Fiend, and they confirmed they was not going to do that because they put the Fiend mask on the announcer's desk. It was all burnt because the Fiend should not come back. The Fiend is dead. They killed him. They burned him. They burned him alive. He's got no interest taking that character back. And the reason I want Bray Wyatt to come up with something new is because the guy can. This guy can create any character, anytime, out of anything. And he proved it again, because the character he came out as, that looked really good. And he's brought back what I was annoyed they took away from him. That was that song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. And you heard the fans just singing it along. It's so good. It was what the Fiend was missing. Something like that got you engaged to the character. As great as that Fiend character was, that was what it was missing. And this is what they're bringing back for Bray Wyatt to be attached to the fans again, for him to be the person he was always meant to be, because he was never handpicked to be that guy. This guy's made him that himself, that big name, and I think he's the guy to take the belt of Reigns. I do. Not yet. They will build him up. It's either him or Cross. For me, that's what I would do. If Rhodes is not back by that time, him or Cross. But I've also showed the Firefly Funhouse is dead. Or just it's gone. I don't know if it's dead. It's gone. And they're bringing the characters that were in the Firefly Funhouse to life. So apparently Bray Wyatt's going to be having his own faction. And this is when I'll come back to my point about Liv Morgan. I think it was one of the characters apparently has a women's championship behind her. And they're saying that's a tease. Who's going to be that character? I think they could potentially pick Liv Morgan. But on the other sense, this is what I was saying, it could also be Alexa Bliss. Because it had, apparently, it's a SmackDown and a Raw's women's champion. Former champion. Liv Morgan has not held both of those. The only one who has held both of those is Alexa Bliss. So it's between Liv Morgan and Alexa. You had one of the other characters. It was like in a orange shirt or something like that. That's Grayson Waller. I'll be very surprised that's not Grayson Waller. Be very surprised. Looked exactly like him. Lots of people are saying he's going to bring in Joe Gacy. I'm guessing that's for I forgot the character's name now. But I forgot the character's name. It's going to really annoy me. But yeah, they're thinking of bringing in Joe Gacy. Not been confirmed, but these are lots of rumours at the moment. Lots of people could join this faction, but whoever they pick. Oh, and apparently they might be bringing in Bo Dallas as well. And I'm actually really excited for that one. I hope they do, because this guy got so disrespected. Because on NXT, this guy could go. He could wrestle. Then he went up to the main roster and did his Bo Leave crap. And they buried the guy. They ruined him. So it'd be good to see him come back. I've heard a couple rumours. They might add Braun Strowman. I can't see them adding Braun Strowman. It makes no sense for them to add Braun. Braun doesn't need to be a part of it. This is for people that have been wronged and to take over the business. So whoever joins this group have been wronged. So whatever happens, it's good. So whoever they put in that faction, they've had to be wronged, and that's a long list of Vince and all the creative what they did. So very very exciting times, must say. One of the best returns in the last decade. The only other returns I loved as much as that one was Edge at Royal Rumble and Rhodes at Mania. But my thoughts on the entire show, it's my favourite pay-per-view since Triple H has took over. Between that and SummerSlam, I think. The only reason I edged this one is because at SummerSlam, there's a that Liv Morgan and Rousey match wasn't good, and I know lots of people are saying this match wasn't good either, but at least it made somewhat sense, and it was much better. Like, I don't think the finish was great, but the match was much better. They didn't have one bad match on this show. Some people will try to convince you that there is. There isn't. As I said, you could probably nitpick at Rousey. Just she's, you know what you're getting from Rousey. I think as soon as you understand what you're getting from Rousey, you're not getting You're not gonna get a wrestling masterclass. You're gonna get a strike game from Rousey, and that's what you got from Liv Morgan. You got her going extreme and her using her wrestling like ability. So I wasn't mad about that match. It was just a finish. But very exciting to see what they do going forward. We got Raw coming up. Yeah, it's very exciting. I really did enjoy this show. I felt they went beyond what they should have. I just think they smashed it. If I'm being completely honest, I think through first match to the end, it was brilliant. I would say, what was your favourite moment of the night? But I think we all know it was Bray Wyatt. But if you had a different favourite moment of the night that was not Bray Wyatt, I want to hear it. Because that was my favourite time of the night. When the lights went out, fucking brilliant. It was just fucking brilliant. There's nothing else to say about it. And I hope we get to see who's going to be part of this group. Because there definitely will be a group. It's just who's going to be in that group. Put it in the comments, guys. If you're watching towards the end of this, who do you guys think is going to be in that group? For each character, I don't know off the top of my head the characters. I know the rabbit character. He was always my favourite in the Firefly Funhouse. He was the best. But I can't remember a lot of the other characters. So you guys might have to catch me up on the names of the characters. But there will definitely be a faction. So who do you guys think should be? Who do you guys think is going to be in that faction? It'd be really cool to hear your ideas. But yeah, throughout the show, loved it. As someone who's in the UK, so me and a mate of mine, we stay up like proper late. I think it was like 1 till about, I think it was like 4:30 or something like that. So it was a bit of a late one for us. But yeah, it was definitely worth it though. One of the best shows of the year. I'm really pumped for Raw. I'm a bit pumped for SmackDown, but not as much. It's more Raw. Because you got the DX will be showing up. You got the Bloodline, and if there was a time for Bray Wyatt to make his presence known, it would be taking out DX. It's either that or he teases something at the bloodline. Because just remember, he's going after the people that wronged him. So Seth is on that list because of the Hell in a Cell match. You've got Reigns is going to be on that list. It's going to be very interesting. This is what I've loved about Cross's character. He's been doing this thing that you are the chosen one. I was never the chosen one. Bray Wyatt's going to have the same outlook but deeper. It's going to be really good. But that's my thoughts and opinions about the show, guys. I'll be also rating each match on Twitter. So do actually stay tuned on my social media on there. I'll be rating the matches on there. I won't go in deep about the match, but I'll just be giving like some ratings and what I thought of the show. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, do like, share, and subscribe as well. I make some gaming content. I'm making some horror movie short videos and all this sort of stuff to basically just enjoy October. That's my favourite time of the year. So yeah, won't go too deep on it, but yeah, guys, do actually check out all my other stuff if you enjoy what I make. Do subscribe, and it really helps me to grow. But hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Try to go as deep as I can. I went on a bit too long, but hope you guys enjoy it. And this is like my first one of doing like a review. So if you guys got any tips on what I can do better going forward, do actually let me know. I'm always open to improve. And have a great one, guys. To everyone that's checked will check out my video. Thank you very much for the support, guys. I really have appreciated the support the last few months. I've grown a lot on here. As I used to just stick to doing gaming, but I'm expanding, doing my wrestling, doing short videos about horror, all sorts of things like films, like just mixing it up. But I hope you guys enjoyed the content and have a great one, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.